Welcome to Next Up Accessories, where we connect your next up and vehicle personalization to make you more money and happier customers. What is vehicle personalization? It's a proven method to present vehicle customization to your customers that will increase your paycheck, give customers the car they want, and skyrocket your CSI. According to our friend and successful sales professional, Eric Gonzalez, if your car sale doesn't touch every part of the dealership, then you aren't doing your job. Vehicle personalization is the key to making that happen. If you want to learn more about how to bring accessories into every car deal, then this is the podcast for you. For more about vehicle personalization, visit us at insigniagroup.com. If you are an Insignia Group customer, well, we want to thank you for your business and check out our blogs. Whitney and Allie work so hard on those blogs, so check them out. Lots of best practice tips there. And if you subscribe, you'll stay up to date. Or check us out on social media. We love to have conversations with you. We want to thank Side Hustle for the use of their song, Work With What You Got, which is very appropriate for the car industry right now. And you can find them at sidehustletheband.com. They're coming out with a new album soon, so check that out. Now, let's dive into Next Up Accessories.
Well, hello, my friends, and welcome back. It's your favorite car salesman. So the last person you want to listen to is somebody trying to sell you something. But what if it's you who trying to buy something? And I'm just doing my job. That's what it usually is. I don't run out there on the road and trying to grab somebody and trying to sell him something. I'm here at work. If a customer comes in, it means you trying to buy something. It's like trying to go date somebody, but always think they cheating on you. I'm just saying.
One thing the car community loves is a good social media personality. Toyota Jeff is a prime example of that, and we had a podcast with him several months back. Today, we've got Dmitry Chekhlatyy, a sales celebrity in his own right. You can find Dmitry's videos on Instagram and TikTok, and he has over 200,000 followers. To ask him questions about vehicles and dealerships and all kinds of stuff regarding sales in dealerships. So let's welcome Dmitry to the show and tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Dmitry. I'm 30 years old. I'm from East Coast Russia. I've been in the United States, 13 years now. I came when I was 17. From a Far East Russia, right on coast of Russia, next to Japan, like it's Pacific Ocean, but I would if I had a map, I would show where I'm from, but we got a whole bunch of cars from Japan. That's why I ended up working at Toyota dealership eventually. But I came here to go to school. I played tennis. So I played tennis since I was like 9 years old. I was recruited to play tennis. I didn't know that was possible, but that happened. And then at the end of school, I just didn't have I couldn't find a job. I had to find a job to stay in the country because that was the rule. If I don't find a job, I got to go back. And car business was the only place that gave me a job. That's a crazy story too, how I got hired. Like, it was just like I happened to meet certain people that hired me, and my first GM is my mentor now.
Nice.
It's crazy, yeah. And then I just kind of like, I don't know, what do you want me, the whole story? You want the whole story? I don't know where I go from here.
So first off, you must have been pretty good at tennis. You were, if you were recruited from Russia to come play in the United States, how were you found over in Russia? You must have been pretty good.
There's a company. So it's a crazy story. So when I was like 14, I remember my mom asked me, she was like, "What would you think about going to United States?" And I was just like, yeah, that would be cool. But I was like, never thought about it. And then I would just keep playing. And then when I was like 16, my mom was like, "Come on, we got to shoot this video." I didn't know none of that stuff. But she contacted the company. It's a company called 4R Sport. I think they're still in business. They pretty much work with different sports. So if you want to get recruited, so a lot of coaches here, they know these different companies, the recruiting companies. So they will go on their website and they will look at your profile. So they'll watch your video and stuff like that. And if they like it, they'll contact them and stuff like that. So I had a couple offers. I had a community college for Penn State, because I think Penn State got another little college. But everybody kind of just playing around. They were like, yeah, don't commit to no, like the typical, sales. They're like, don't commit to nobody, we'll
wait
get
for
you
the best offer,
in a couple months, and my recruiter said they're playing games. They don't have the scholarship. They just want to keep you on the back burner. And my coach from Morgan State was the only one that actually gave me real money. He gave me like 40% of the scholarship. So we took that, and then I worked my way up to like 75% scholarship. Just
Nice.
by
And what
playing.
was your overall record in college?
Oh Jesus, man! I don't know to be honest with you. I can pull it up. I don't know, but it's on the website. You can Google my name. It'll come up. Pictures come up with my tennis racket.
And
Like
do you
when
play?
I
Do you play now?
huh?
Do you play now? I mean, have you kept it up or no?
I haven't, like, honestly, since I got in the car business, I didn't, because I'm crazy, so I go all in. Whatever I do, I just go all in. Like when I played tennis, I was all in, and then when I stopped, I was just like, I needed to make money, and because like I don't know, my family, we had some financial stuff, so I had to pay back some stuff. So I was like,
Sure.
I just went all in, and I mean, I haven't played probably in 2 years, but my plan this year when I start playing, because like my dad was always telling me like keep your body in shape, and I was like whatever. And then you get to 30, and it's like it's not like 22 no more. It's
Wait,
like
wait till you get to 45, sir. I
right.
mean, then you got like, oh gosh, I should have been listening to my dad all this time. I should still be playing.
Right. So that's why I'm like, I need to start doing it now, before I get to 35, because I'm like, I don't like the way I feel at 30 now. I'm like, it's not like I like how I felt. It put it in perspective, I was like, when I thought I wasn't in good shape, I realized I was in amazing shape. To me, it wasn't like a big deal. I was like, yeah, whatever, running a couple miles. Now I'm like, run up the lot and back, and I'm like, Jesus, how did I used to do that?
So you said it was an interesting story of how you got into the car business. So tell us a little bit about that. How did you go from a star college tennis player? You said you needed a job, and that the car business is good for that. I mean, when it's a great place to break in somewhere, not a lot of experience, and they train you. So how did you get into the car business?
So the story is fine. So I had this neighbor, Mr. Frederick. He teaches in church and stuff. So he would like mentor me at the time because I was like going through some stuff. And his son worked at the dealership. But his son was like a head lot attendant. And he told me, it was like, go talk to him and they'll get you a job. So I think I was supposed to be a lot attendant. But I ran into Dwayne, and Dwayne is like a good friend of mine now. He's out of business now. But Dwayne, like, when I walked in, Dwayne was at the front desk. So they had a front desk at Toyota dealership. And he just started talking to me. I had no idea who Dwayne was. But Dwayne was a manager that they hired. He didn't last long there for whatever reasons. But he's a good dude. Like, so pretty much he like saw what he said is, I saw myself in you, because I went to the same school that he did.
Oh,
and
nice.
I came in, I had an H&M suit on me, like, it was like about $60 suit, like that's all I could afford. And I guess he saw that and he was just like felt bad or so. So he like showed me a 6-bow, and he was like, go home, do the 6-bow, my boss is gonna be like that was Friday, and he said my boss is gonna be here Monday, come back and do the 6-bow. Now, what about heaven? I had no idea about this until 2 years ago. Because like I said, the guy that was interviewing me on Monday is my mentor now, a good friend of mine, a really successful dude. Like he part owner of 3 dealerships now. He's like very successful. So he's like, he apparently talked to me and went back and told Dwayne, he said, I have no idea what the heck you see in this kid, but that's gonna be your responsibility. I don't want to hire him. And I'll fire him if he doesn't work. And I had no idea that happened.
Oh my gosh!
Hired me, started teaching me and all that. But
That's
what
awesome.
I found out, starting off with no experience at a busy Toyota store, it's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. Nobody's gonna help you at all. Everybody kind of like the top salesman, Huntley, literally told me. I said, "How you doing?" He said, he looked at me. He said, "I have no interest in knowing your name until you can last here for 2 months." And I was like, wow, that's rude.
Dang.
But I understand what he meant, because people were coming in and going all the time. So, but I lasted in new cars about like 5-6 months. I couldn't make any money. I was just like, it was horrible. I tried. I worked every single day, like no days off, and just worked. And they were like trying to fire me, apparently. I had no idea, but they were trying to fire me. So at the time, we had a used car building up top, and I knew they were doing pretty good. And it's one of my best friends, Jason, who's my general manager now. Jason was at the time, what, it was about 29, so he was pretty young. And I remember, so pretty much happened one Saturday. I had a customer. We had a sales event, like they call it J&L sales event. They do like mailers and stuff. And I took a customer. I was the only one available, but they took the customer from me and gave it to Huntley. And Huntley already had a customer. Huntley ended up blowing both customers out. And I got so upset. And I went to Jason. I was like, Jason, I can't do this. And at the time, one of the guys in used cars was leaving. So Jason went and took me out under his wing and taught me everything pretty much. So that's how I ended up in used cars. And I loved it in used cars because I was like, man, that was what, 2012? So grosses on used cars at my dealership, at least, were pretty good at the time. So I remember just selling a car at the internet price, discounted $1,000 and making $2,000 front end. And I got paid 30% of that. And I was like, Jesus. I was like, I ain't never got paid like that. So I was like, I'm staying here. So I stayed there. And that's how I stayed in used cars. And I was just like, plus I'm like the most irresponsible person. So I didn't like surveys. I didn't like CSI. I didn't like none of that stuff. I was like, nah, man, I'm not doing it.
Did you ever?
Like, if you had a one
Look, I'm from Russia. I don't do any of that stuff. I
right.
CSI. Yeah, I'm from Russia, right?
Right. I just sell cars. That's it. So that's how I end up in used cars. And then and then eventually Mike, who like my mentor now, he was coming up to used cars. Like, so I went from selling like 9 to 10 cars to selling 15 cars every month. And Mike was like, hey, you ready to come back? You ready to come back? So I was like, I'm never coming back. Never coming back.
So from that on, you've stayed as a specialist in used cars. And then you said you specialize also in sort of bankruptcy clients, people who are trying to get out of bankruptcy and trying to look for transportation. So talk a little bit, how did you find that niche?
So that's also everything, like, like in my life, like I feel like everything happens for a reason, and you gotta ask for things for it to happen. So it's like we had a guy, Tommy, and Tommy was doing bankruptcy. So Jason taught Tommy how to do it, and Tommy was just a workhorse. So he did it, and Tommy was making tons of money because at the time it was much easier in 2012 than it is now because it's very saturated right now. But at the time, so we had a management change in the store. And Jason, I guess, butted heads with the new general manager. So they moved Jason. So we have a Chevy store where I am right now and a Toyota store. And they moved Jason from Toyota store to a Chevy store. Tommy was supposed to go with Jason. But Tommy, right before leaving, they gave him an insane pay plan. Like, insane. Like, I don't know what I would do to get that pay plan. Like, it's insane. I would never want to be a manager if I had that pay plan. So Tommy didn't go. But before that, I jokingly told Jason, I was like, hey, if Tommy doesn't go, let me know. I'll come and do it. I don't know how to do it, but I'll do it. So at the time, I was like selling cars for like 3 years. And that's exactly what happened. The day when Tommy was supposed to go, Tommy said, I'm staying. And Jason came up to me and was like, you still want to go? I was like, yeah. And they didn't let me go. So I said, not a problem. So I left. I literally fired myself. I was like, I'm leaving. And I went to work at a different store for like 5 days. I went to like Jeep store, which was also a cool store, really cool. And then they hired me at the other store. And that's how I got into bankruptcy. But it's like pretty specialized process. Like I do mostly open bankruptcy, Chapter 7. I don't mess with Chapter 13. It's really hard. But Chapter 7 is pretty easy. I do mailer. I send, before Corona hit, I was doing about 12 to 15,000 letters a month. So I do probably about 400 or 500 letters a day. So it started picking up now. And I was doing about 15, average 15 cars, 15, sometimes 20, sometimes 15. I was like, I got so spoiled. It kind of messed up. It messed me up because I got so spoiled. I stopped taking ups. I was like, man, I don't need to do this. I'm like, I'm good. And it bit me really bad. It put me back, humbled me out after Corona hit. So
after the Corona, yeah. So take us through your experience in 2020.
That's a tough one. I mean, for me at least, it was a tough one. Like I said, I went through mental stuff. I didn't want to sell cars no more in 2020. I just decided I burned myself out, because I did it for the way I started working. I never took days off. I take days off here, there, but Like, because in sales, like, if you're not there, you're not making money. Like, I don't care. Like I could be answering phones, I could be anything, but the customer can come in that, you talked to 2 days ago, and I'll let you know they're there. And my store is any store I work. They don't do any splits. They just like, they won't even let you know they came in. You will find out, like, looking on the log. You're like, oh, thanks for letting me know. And so I burned myself out. I just didn't want to do it no more. Like, I kind of got tired of going through the same motions, like, it's like hearing same objections and this and this and that. And I was like, and I got tired of the people that were managers that would check my work, knew less than me, because I knew how to do like everything. Like, because Jason taught me everything.
Yeah.
So it's like I knew how to book deals, how to structure deals. I was working deals better than the manager. And I'm like, why are you telling me how to do this? But now I understand it doesn't matter, because now I'm a manager, so it doesn't matter. Like, I just had a little ego trip, but like I said, I humbled myself out. So like, 2020,
when did you go ahead?
No, I'm saying 2020 was a tough year, because like I said, like a lot of people lost jobs, they didn't work, and bankruptcy, it just wasn't coming in. I went from selling 15 to 20 to selling like 6 to 8. And I was just like, no. And then it's like, I got fired from my dealership where I'm at, because the general manager was just not, I mean, I'm not going to say a lot of things, but car business is car business.
Car business.
But they weren't treating me right. So I went a little bit, like, told them I need more money. They fired me. So I said, okay.
Yeah. So when did you start the TikTok? When did you did you use the TikTok? When did that start for you?
TikTok. So TikToks I started doing, I'm trying to think, late 2019. So I listened, like, I follow Gary Vee. Like, I don't know, you know who Gary Vee is.
Yep.
A lot of people know Gary.
Yep.
So, and he was saying TikTok, and he keeps saying document, don't create, and stuff like that. So I just was like, my original goal with TikTok was, I said there's a lot of salespeople that just suck. They don't know what they're doing, because they have poor management that can't teach people the right step. Because I said, like, you don't have to lie to make money, and you could be completely honest and transparent and make profit and keep customers happy, because everybody knows we don't work for free. So it's like, but customers scared to work with salespeople because they think we're lying, and then there are salespeople that do lie because they don't know how to work right, so they have to lie to do whatever they do. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I just want to close the gap. So I was like, I started giving. That was my original goal, but then that kind of like went out of the window, because nobody want to listen about it. Like, I realized that nobody cares about this stuff, and I was just like, so I just started posting whatever, and like, I'm into cars, like, so I started talking about my car, just like, I don't know, I just started talking about stuff that, like, it's weird. TikTok is weird. It's spring loaded from completely different video, where I was coming up to the light, and I had a manual car, and I said, don't you mad when you see the red light up top and you keep downshifting, and as soon as you come to the red light and you put it in neutral, it comes green. So, and that went viral. And then after that, I just started posting a bunch of different stuff. And then I got fired, and then I went to the other dealership, Bob Bell, and I just started making more and more and more. And then I did a video on the box close, and that went big. And then they told me they're going to fire me, told me if I don't delete it, they'll fire me. And I was like, I'm not deleting anything. I was like, kick rocks.
I was going to ask you, how has the reception been from management? I mean,
my store
they embraced it at this point? I mean, you post pretty frequently now, so have they embraced it?
Yeah. They love me. They're like, people, like, I have people sometimes show up and like, hey, are you straight Russian? I'll be like, yeah. I don't sell anything off TikTok, like, at all. Like, it's just like the audience so broad, like, in the whole United States. But it's like, they love it, because it's like, I told them, I was like, I went to my marketing, because they know me since I was like 22. I've been with Jerry since 2012. I left him a couple times. The only time I left was I was fired. But like, the other times was I followed Jason. So when Jason had disagreements and he left to a different store, I would follow. I'm a pretty loyal dude, so I go with, like, we work together, we work good. So it's like, but they love it, they have no problem with it. I don't say nothing crazy, like, I I'm not gonna post like actual customer interaction. I'm not gonna but make it a little fun. Like all the skits I make is just to show people the ridiculousness the customers pull sometimes, and sometimes the same thing with salespeople. It's like, but it's like I don't know. I just like I said, I want to like my whole goal is I want to close the gap between people being scared to buy cars and salespeople, just to show that because most salespeople are honest. Like we all know that most salespeople are regular people like you, me, and everybody else.
Yeah,
it's just
sure.
we got bad perception because of what people did, I guess, in the 80s.
So let's turn our attention to you're also a car enthusiast. So you like to tune cars. You like to soup them up. What have you done to your car, and how has accessories played a role in in not only your car sales but also just you personally?
I'm sorry, my dog is being crazy.
He's awesome.
But what you call? The only thing I've done to my cars myself, I blew them up. That's the only thing I've done to my cars.
You've blown them up?
Yeah, I mean they both broken right now. But no, but like because I
So
grew
you're not a
up.
good mechanic. You're a great. You like to drive, but you're not a great mechanic. Is that what
I'm not a good driver
here?
either. It looks like. Like, my shop loves me. I keep bringing it back.
You keep breaking it. Nice.
Now they first liked me. Now they're like, come on, man, come on. We don't have time to fix this all the time. But like, no, I have a 15 plus WRX, and it's just like I always wanted to have a race car. I grew up on the East Coast, so I grew up looking at old Japanese cars, very modded, come from Japan. High power cars. So just started doing it myself. That was at the time where bankruptcy was doing really well. I was doing really well, and I was just like, let's do this. And now I'm like, should have saved my money. Should have probably invested it somewhere. Should have probably bought some Bitcoin with it.
Yeah, exactly. Bitcoin in 2015, you could have probably bought like 5 or 6 WRXs at this point.
But at this point, as much money I got in it, I probably could have bought an M3 and almost pay it off. Like that's where I'm at. And I'll be like, I probably would have a car that's worth like $35,000 right now. But instead, I got a car with a blown engine. But no, I mean, I like modding. Like I don't have a lot of like accessories, outside accessories done, but like it's mostly all engine work and stuff. Like I got wheels and tail lights and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty obviously pretty big. Like I have plans, going further because I'm in the car scene now. It's like.
Sure.
That's what I use my TikTok for. It's just like, honestly, I just want to I always want to be an automotive blogger. I got tired of looking at people do it, and I'm like, I can do this. I just need to do it.
Yeah.
And that's why all the modding also came in. Where I was like, I can't get there if I don't have a car. So I gotta have a car myself. That's pretty sick. That people would want to see and stuff like that. But I just need to stop blowing it up. That's all.
Ease up on it there, Dmitry. Ease up on it. So how do you go to shows and that kind of stuff? I mean, do you go to any car swaps and car shows?
Yeah. I mean, we have like we have some cars and coffee, around here. Like it's pretty cool. Like I come in, some people see me. Like sometimes 1-2 people see me. They're like, "Oh, you're the guy." I'm like, "Yeah." But yeah, I mean, I go like I try to use my social media for like I had the idea of like I just haven't set it up with anybody. I always said there's like there's cool builds. People make really cool builds, but they don't have exposure because like there's a couple people in the car industry and the blogs that will give exposure to people, but you got to know them. And I was like, you know what? I should use my platform and just give people the spotlight because builds take a long time, effort, like money and all that. And I think it's cool to highlight it. Like I was at the Cars and Coffee, there was this B7 Alpina BMW. I think it's a E28. And they said the gentleman took him 5 years to build it. Hit a source piece by piece, and it's so perfect. And I didn't know where the owner was. And I wanted to talk to him. Like I wanted to do the shoot on it. But it was crazy. It was so clean. I was just like, it's ridiculous. Had a source literally every bumper, every seat, steering wheel, gear shift knob, like every single piece, because they didn't make Alpinas here.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Cool. Now, in your sort of daily, job with customers and stuff, used cars, I think, in our experience, is a little bit more difficult with accessories because you've got customers coming in very price conscious, very payment conscious. Do you see many folks coming in asking for accessories? What opportunity do you think there's there for personalization in the used car department?
Well, we actually we have a whole Jerry's, unlike other dealerships, which I don't know why most dealerships don't have it, but we have aftermarket department. So, every time before they go to finance, they'll always go to aftermarket. And we have plenty of vendors, because we sell a lot of trucks, cargo trucks, because Chevy dealer, and
Yep.
so people want bed liners, the side steps, covers for the back, but we don't do a lot of accessories, but that's kind of the most ones they get,
Yeah.
people mostly get tow hitch, roof
Yep.
rack,
Perfect.
bed liners, stuff like that. Just huge profits. I don't understand why dealerships don't do it. Because some people, people don't want to go from place to place to do it. They just rather do it all there, put it in the financing, and be done with it.
So can I make a request that your next TikTok is a feature on your aftermarket department and go through there and do a whole thing on them? That'd be great.
I mean, man, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. We should. Honestly, you know what? I'm gonna do that.
Perfect. All right, then you're gonna tag us in it. So.
Do you guys have TikTok?
We're working on it, but I'm, yeah. We'll ask Ali about that.
TikTok's easy, man. I'm telling everybody, I'm a TikTok advocate, even though TikTok doesn't like me. I don't know why they flagged my account a bunch of times, but I'm a avid TikTok advocate. It's easy. You just gotta if you post something that's educational on it, interesting, people love that. They like watching that stuff.
So I was kind of joking around, and we are going to launch something on TikTok here that we're helping to sponsor. It's going to be called Car by Me, and it is a series that's going to feature vehicles on showroom lots and how those vehicles can be accessorized or already accessorized. So we've been working on that for a couple months now, and hopefully those videos will start coming out on YouTube and TikTok. So you heard it here first on this podcast for Next Up Accessories. The Car by Me with Cameron is going to premiere soon. So awesome!
Just send it to my DM. I'll check it out.
Yeah, awesome.
I'll follow you guys back.
Amazing. Yep, awesome.
Yeah.
So what would your advice be to other sales professionals, either folks getting into the business? Sounds like you had I'm going to call it the classic introduction to the car business in terms of sink or swim. You're just dropped in the grease. You're just dropped in the middle of the deep end. Make it or break it, make it or get out. What would your advice be to other new car professionals trying to break into the business?
Well, first of all, my advice, pick a I guess not necessarily, because you don't know if it's a good store or not, but at least look at the vibe in a store, see if the people are happy, because if salespeople not happy, it's probably not a good store where you don't want to work, because that's number one. But second, pick a brand that you actually want to work for, that you think that would be good for you, because one thing I learned, you don't want to jump, especially in car sales. You want to stay in one place. If you're going to be a manager, finance manager, whatever, it's much better to stay in one place so you could cultivate your customer base. People could see you all the time. And then the third, I guess, just work. It sounds messed up. It sounds really rough when I tell people this, but you got to work, especially if you start and you never did it. If you know a lot of people, that you don't have to necessarily, but if you don't, you just got to work all the time. And I just hired a young kid, and I had a really tough conversation with him yesterday because he worked for 2 months and he literally worked hard for 2.5 weeks. He made more money than he ever did. He was a top lot attendant, and the effort just went downhill. It went I know what I'm doing. I think I'm confident, this and that. But in reality, like I tell everybody, don't concentrate on making money. Like I just made a TikTok about it yesterday. Like concentrate on what makes money, like the process. Like sharp. Like if you're a knife, you want to be as sharp as you can, because like if you dull, you know, you're not gonna. You might be able to cut something, but it's gonna be messy, you know, and it's not gonna work good, because like if you know what you're doing, like learn the industry, you know, like ask manager questions, like, hey, like like learn how the trades work, you know, understand how financing works, what's loan to value, understand other like competitors that you work against, you know, understand you really gotta like dive in and like gotta take it seriously, like that's because car business is a serious industry, you know, like most people don't take it that serious. They're like, oh, I'll make money here or there, but you can make a little bit of money, or you can build like a real career where, like, with no education and zero experience, you can walk in and literally in 5 years to 10 years, you can have a full-blown career that you could have skills that you could take in other industries if you want. You could network. Like at this point, I think I could probably go to real estate because of how many people I know. Like I have my own database that I keep tabs on. So it's like I could just blast them with emails, you know, and just go sell houses. But maybe I should. I don't know. But it's like, but
Are we
that's
seeing a career change right here on the podcast? I mean, all of a sudden.
No, honestly, like I want to do it if I can figure out how to make money off my social media and presence. Like if I can make enough to pay my bills, I probably would leave car business because of how time consuming it is for what I want to do. Like,
sure,
I'm just different. My family is across the ocean. I want to go spend time with them. I haven't seen them in a long time. So like for me, it's like I want to leave car business because I gave it a long time, and like, but it gave me this, you know, like it gave me TikTok. It gave me like I don't know. I love car business. I don't really. I'm confused, but we're not gonna talk about that. We're not gonna talk about that. But that's my advice. Really, just work every customer. You know, like don't skip steps. Like just become like a machine. You know, like you got to be very automatic. Like you got to know. Like a lot of people just skip steps and they like, you know, they forget to follow up. They forget to like ask another question, you know, like people turn into order takers because they want to make a deal, and like I'm like, you know, just take it serious. I don't know. Hopefully that answers the question.
You know, one of the things that I see here in the conversation is that you have invested so much, and the fruit of your labor, the fruit of your investment is that now you do get to kind of figure out what's next for you, which is not a bad thing. I mean, it's actually a great thing, and it's a mark of the success that you've been able to achieve, that now you're thinking about even exiting the business, and you've built up skills, and you've built up, like you said, a contact list and a network to where you could skip and go into another industry. And I have, full confidence and based upon what you've said and your track record of success, that you would do very well, whatever you set your mind to. And it's because you invested all of that to build up to where you are now. So that's many entrepreneurs, we do a lot of stuff about entrepreneurship and things. And, many entrepreneurs getting into a business or a new car salesperson, in many ways, a car salesperson is an entrepreneur. In many ways, you are a company. When you have defined yourself as a car salesperson, you come into another company, but really your own little company. And the best salespeople I've ever introduced or been introduced to and gotten to know act as if they're their own company. They're their own brand. They're their own company within the greater car business that they're in. And experience and putting in the work and the hard work and working all the time, you get to enjoy the fruit of that labor, but it doesn't happen immediately. You've got to invest in it. You've got to put, 8, 10, 12 years into your craft. And then you get to really enjoy what you've built. So it's awesome. Well, I really appreciate you being on the podcast. You've given us some great information today. And so thank you so much. One last question. If you aren't driving, if your WRX is blown up in the driveway, what's your daily driver?
I just I didn't buy nothing much better. I just bought. I had a customer. Honestly, I had a customer. We had a X5 BMW X5, and we had a customer who came from Texas, moved to Baltimore, and he traded his because it was a rear-wheel drive.
Okay.
And I stole it. I don't know why he traded it for that. I actually thought there was something wrong with it. I had to literally go back and next day I had to look at it. I was like, why did he trade it? I was like, I'm looking at it. I was like, this is not right. And I ended up buying it. Like I bought a 2014 with like 80,000 miles on it, X5.
Cool.
BMW.
Yeah.
My first BMW. I love it. It's cheap. It's $300 a month.
Nice.
I'm proud of myself. And I could sell it. I'll sell it to Carvana if something goes wrong. I don't like those guys.
Those are solid. I know some folks that have had that vehicle. Is a solid vehicle. Well, again, Dmitry, thank you so much for being on the podcast here. So podcast listeners, we also want to thank you for joining the conversation. We always like to hear from you. And if you have any questions, put a comment in the questions for the video. Hit us up on social media. We'd love to continue the conversation. Until next time, I'm David Stringer, and this has been Next Up Accessories, where we connect your next up and vehicle personalization to help you make more money and happier customers. Thanks for tuning in. Every deal, every day. Bye-bye.